Level 1. The Shoreline. The non-disclosure agreement sits on a cold stainless steel table under a flickering halogen bulb. The ink is still wet. A man in an unbranded tactical vest points at the signature line. Sign it or get back on the supply boat. You have 30 seconds. You sign. You do not read the 300 pages of fine print or the international maritime law exemptions. You only look at the number at the bottom. $12,500 per week, wired to an offshore account. You get a gray polo shirt, cargo pants, and an encrypted radio that clicks every 40 seconds to track your location. Your job is simple. Walk the perimeter of the southern beach. You stay exactly 50 yards from the high tide line, scanning the white sand for unauthorized footprints. The heat is thick with the smell of salt water and aviation fuel from the helipad. At 3:14 a.m., a matte black tender boat slips past the reef without lights. A man steps off into the shallow water, stumbling. You recognize his face from the cover of 3 business magazines this month. He drops an encrypted satellite phone into the wet sand, muttering about a regulatory investigation. You pick it up. You do not hand it back to him. You place it into a shielded pouch and hand it to your supervisor at dawn. The supervisor gives you an unmarked $100 bill and tells you to forget it. That night, you look in the mirror. Your eyes are tired, but your bank account is heavier. You tell yourself a dropped phone doesn't mean anything. The money makes the silence taste clean.
Level 2. The compound access. The promotion comes after 90 days of absolute silence. They replace your gray polo with a black one. You move behind the 4-meter concrete walls that separate the wilderness from the main compound. The air smells expensive here, filled with imported jasmine and industrial filtration systems. The rules change. You clean the guest villas after the sun rises and the parties wind down. Your primary tool is an industrial vacuum and a chemical kit designed to erase biological traces from Italian marble. You carry heavy black trash bags to the automated incinerator at the southern tip of the island. The golden rule is absolute. You do not look inside the bags. If a bag feels uneven or if you hear the clink of broken crystal, you keep walking. On a Tuesday morning, a bag tears as you lift it from the master suite of Villa 4. A shattered bottle of vintage champagne spills out, soaked in a dark, thick liquid that smells metallic and sharp. Your pulse hits 120. Your hand hovers over the tear, tempting you to pull the plastic back. Then you think of the $42,000 sitting in your private account. You push the glass back inside with your boot, seal the tear with heavy tape, and toss it into the furnace. The flames turn bright green. You walk away. Your morality is a luxury you can no longer afford. It is much easier to just keep the incinerator burning.
Level 3. The Network Hub. They move you out of the heat entirely. You are assigned to the subterranean bunker, 25 feet beneath the volcanic rock. The temperature is a constant 62 degrees to keep the massive server racks cool. You wear a dark gray track jacket, sitting in front of 84 high-definition monitors. Your job is to watch the staff. You monitor the level 1 guards on the beach, tracking their pacing speed. You watch the level 2 cleaners, checking the exact weight of the trash bags. The currency here is information, and you are the gatekeeper. You learn the layout of every hidden camera and every directional microphone planted in the silk headboards. At 10:42 p.m., you spot a level 1 guard on the northern pier. He stops near an abandoned briefcase, looks around, and slides an encrypted USB drive into his pocket. He thinks he is in a blind spot. He doesn't know about the thermal imaging camera you calibrated 3 hours ago. Protocol dictates no radio usage. You press the yellow toggle switch beneath monitor 12. 20 minutes later, a black SUV pulls up to the pier. 2 men from the extraction team step out, and the guard is escorted inside. He doesn't make the morning ferry. His name is deleted from the payroll database by sunrise. You don't feel bad for him. He broke the rules of the ecosystem. You watch his empty station on the monitor, sip your black coffee, and log the incident as a routine system optimization.
Level 4. The Pavilion operator. You are now a competent operator. You wear a custom-tailored Italian suit with a discreet earpiece tucked behind your jaw. You stand inside the grand glass pavilion, an architectural marvel built over a sheer cliff where the host holds his private evening auctions. The people in this room do not carry wallets. They exchange sovereign debt keys, maritime shipping concessions, and unregulated genetic blueprints. Your job is to facilitate the physical logistics. You carry the velvet-lined cases, verify cryptographic keys on secure tablets, and ensure no two guests speak without a formal introduction. During a high-stakes poker game that stretches into dawn, a tech mogul loses his liquidity. Desperate, he signs a paper document handing over a 3% controlling stake in an experimental satellite array. His hands shake as he slides the paper across the mahogany table toward the host. He looks up at you, his eyes bloodshot, asking if you can call his assistant to verify his backup funds. You stand perfectly still, arms crossed behind your back. You look past him, your eyes fixed on the horizon. You wait for the host's subtle nod. The host ignores the man completely. You step forward, collect the cards, and signal the dealer to continue. The mogul is ruined, silently. Money is no longer something you use to buy things. It is a shield designed to keep reality at bay. The higher you climb, the thicker the shield becomes, and the less the screams from the outside world can penetrate it.
Level 5. The Inner Sanctum. You are granted the Titanium Master Key card. It is unbranded, heavy, and blank. It grants access to the central villa, where the host lives during his solitary weeks. You are no longer managing logistics. You are managing the host's personal security and preemptive asset protection. The host speaks to you by your first name now, though his voice holds the clinical tone of a man reading a serial number off a machine part. Your daily routine involves reviewing international intelligence briefs and executing preemptive erasures before a problem can ever reach the island shores. The European Prime Minister attempts to cut his stay short after an intense disagreement regarding an international deep-sea mining lease. He demands his private jet be cleared for immediate takeoff. You intercept him at the hangar doors before his security detail can open them. You do not argue. You hand him a glass tablet showing his private offshore banking ledger from the previous 48 hours, detailing transfers he believed were buried under 7 layers of shell corporations. The Prime Minister stares at the screen, his face turning ash gray. He turns around slowly, orders his detail to unpack, and walks back to his villa. You watch him leave, feeling absolutely nothing. You tell yourself that you are keeping the world stable. The lie feels natural now, like a second skin.
Level 6. The Vault Trustee. You are an undisputed authority figure. You run the morning security briefings for the entire defense detail, commanding a small private army of 90 former Special Forces operatives. You hold the cryptographic keys to the central vault, housing the physical backup servers containing every single second of audio and video recorded here for the last 8 years. The rules are absolute. You never leave the island. The outside world is a distant, theoretical concept viewed through satellite feeds. You have a luxury villa on the North Cliff and $4 million deposited into your account every quarter. But your passport rests inside the host's personal safe, and you haven't touched public currency in 3 years. During a private dinner, the host suffers a sudden, debilitating stroke. He slumps forward onto the table. The 3 international bankers dining with him freeze, looking from the dying billionaire to you, standing silently in the corner. For several seconds, you hold the global financial system in your hands. If you press your medical button immediately, the host survives. The news leaks, and markets plunge tomorrow. If you wait, automated trust protocols activate, securing the pending trade agreements without disruption. You stand perfectly still, watching the second hand on your watch. You wait exactly 4 minutes and 12 seconds until the bankers sign the digital documents. Then you call the medical team. Human life is no longer a moral consideration. It is an operational variable. You don't feel remorse or fear. You feel a cold, absolute sense of calculation.
Level 7. The Shadow Director. The host does not leave his medical suite anymore. He communicates exclusively through encrypted text strings sent to your secure terminal. You have become the living voice of the island, the ghost that keeps the entire empire running from behind the scenes. You dictate who is permitted to land on the private airstrip and whose names are completely scrubbed from the historical archives. You manage the island's private military contracts, its legal defense funds across 6 tax havens, and its fleet of untraceable transport ships. An investigative journalist tracks a specific supply ship from a container port in Panama. The journalist never reaches the island. From your climate-controlled desk, you authorize a targeted short sale of the media corporation that employs them, while simultaneously forwarding an anonymous file to their local tax authorities detailing minor financial discrepancies from a decade ago. By noon, the journalist is suspended, and the story is permanently killed. You do not leave your chair. You just alter a sequence of digital characters. The emotional numbness is complete. You look out the massive glass windows at the ocean, and it looks entirely fake, like a digital projection designed to keep you calm. You possess total control over lives you will never see, yet your own identity has been erased. You are no longer a person. You are infrastructure.
Level 8. The Apex. The host passes away quietly at 4:18 a.m. No news reports are generated, and no funeral is planned. The automated legal structures activate, transferring physical ownership of the island to a web of shell companies where you are the sole lifetime trustee. There are no rules left because there is no one left above you to write them. You are the architect, the king, and the prisoner of this isolated empire. You sit in the highest room of the central tower, looking down at the white sand beaches, the gleaming glass pavilions, and the automated patrol boats circling the reef. You open your secure banking application. The number contains more zeros than your mind can process, but there is nothing left to buy. Your family believes you died years ago. Your old friends are gone. You sit down to a multi-course meal, prepared by a chef who doesn't know your name, eating in absolute, deafening silence. The only sound is the low hum of the air conditioning servers, keeping the bunker cool beneath your feet. You realize, with an icy clarity, that the island was never built to keep the world out. It was built to keep you, permanently, inside. A soft chime alerts you on your monitor. A supply boat has just docked at the southern pier. A young man steps off the deck, blinking against the harsh tropical sun. He looks nervous, adjusting his collar as his boots touch the wood of the dock. A supervisor guides him toward a small outbuilding, laying a piece of paper down on a cold metal table beneath a single halogen bulb. Somewhere, a new guard is just starting his first shift. He thinks he understands how the game is played. He doesn't. But he will.